Welcome to 6 things that I wish I knew sooner about Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. Now, this is 6 things that I wish I knew earlier, not 6 things that you don't know about the game. It's not one of those videos. Some of these took me many years to figure out. Many of you may well know most or all of this stuff, and that is great. This video is not promising anything there. Also, if you play Barbarian Invasion on mobile, most of these should apply to your campaign also. Let's start off with number 1. Peasants only produce half the usual public order level. Now, you're probably used to in Rome Total War, and if a settlement starts struggling with public order, just spam out a load of peasants. Very cheap units that clear up the population, that provide a basic garrison, very small upkeep, perfect unit. Brilliant to have, and yeah, it cleans your public order for you. And I see many people trying this in Barbarian Invasion, and I used to do it a lot, but then I figured out from a comment in my comment section that that's not the best idea, but rather you've got to go for the Limitani. If you're playing a Western Roman Empire campaign, let's just assume Western Rome we're playing as. Go for the Limitani. Why? Because the peasants only provide half a public order boost. So let's say one peasant squad provides 5% public order, then every other unit is going to provide 10% public order. So it's all of a sudden the peasant unit is not as cost effective if you're just using it to spam out public order. There's still uses for peasants, of course, and I'm not saying don't use them at all. Maybe you just want to spam them just to lower the population. By all means try and do that. But if you're thinking of a long-term, cheap upkeep unit that you want in there to boost public order, go for the Limitani, because they produce the 100% public order boost. Peasants, only 50%. Number 2, the value of walls and towers. Now, building walls in Barbarian Invasion is very valuable, because you're going to get attacked by a lot of massive horde armies, and I can't state how valuable these big stone walls are going to be. Luckily you start with a lot of them in Italy. But this mostly is to talk about towers, and you can use this while sieging. In Medieval 2 Total War, you've actually got to have a unit at the tower for it to fire. But in the Rome Total War versions, you don't have to do that. But all towers just fire themselves if they've got a good shot. However, if you're attacking a settlement and you can see an enemy tower, if you get up onto the walls and then you can capture that enemy's tower, and then what was once a, Eastern Roman tower that was firing against your troops, if you're up there and you've captured it, that tower changes sides onto your side and it fires onto the enemies, whoever's defending. So you can use their own towers to your advantage. Number 3, destroy your buildings. Let's say, for example, let's go down to Iberia. Now, you're not going to get attacked in Iberia, or it's very unlikely. So, what's the point in having your barracks and stables down there? You can demolish your barracks, your stables, your archery ranges in Iberia where you're never going to need them, get that extra 400 gold, and then spend it on the settlements on the front line that do need that stuff. I believe Rome and the southern Italy settlements start off with some really good top tier barracks, but you're probably not going to be training troops on there. Where you need to be training troops is on the front line settlements. So just demolish those buildings, get the extra money, and if you're playing Western Rome, that's money you're going to need. In addition to this, if you've got a settlement that's about to rise up, destroy your buildings. Let's say you've got a barracks and you're playing as the Western Roman Empire and the settlement with that barracks is about to revolt. And then let's say it does revolt. What happens is the rebel army that spawns, or the separatist army that spawns, it gains units based off the buildings that are in the settlement, so it will get comitatenses if it's got the barracks in. And then when you want to retake that settlement, you'll have to fight comitatenses. If it's got the highest level of stables and it revolts, the rebels that are going to spawn in there are going to be high level cavalry armies. So if it's about to revolt, just destroy the military buildings, and then all of a sudden, all the rebels will have as garrison is peasants, and to take the settlement back, That's all you need to do. You just need to kill the peasants. No comitatenses, heavy cavalry, archers, none of that. So yeah, that's what you do if a settlement's about to revolt. Gets you a bit of money, and it makes retaking it much, much easier. Number 4, invest your time in your generals, especially around religion, and just spend a bit of time looking into them and what they have. One general in Aquincum, for example, I think it provides plus 30% conversion to Christianity. So put him in a settlement that's, let's say the settlement's 0% Christian, 100% pagan. Put him in there, build a church as well. 3 or 4 turns, that settlement will be 100% Christian, no public order issues at all in that settlement. Yeah, he's that good, and there's lots of characters around the map that are good, and yeah, you gotta be careful where your characters are. If you're moving an army with a lot of Christian generals through your pagan territory, it's gonna cause it to go pagan, so you got to be careful where you're clicking the end turn and where your generals are on the map. And I think diplomats and spies and stuff also have pagan and Christian traits as well, so you got to be careful where you're leaving them. Overall, what I'm saying is, just look into your characters, find out their religion, and be careful where you shove them. Number 5, ports beat farms. This could be said for normal Rome Total War as well. Now, a lot of people on my channel do play Medieval 2 Total War, and if they go back to Rome, they start training farms. In Medieval 2, yep, build your farms first. Basic farms are the most important thing. But for Rome Total War and Barbarian Invasion, what you want to do instead is build a first tier of ports, because you get so much more money from trade than you ever will from taxes and population. Trade is much more valuable. You only need the first tier. Like, once you've built first tier ports, then you go for the farms, and then the mines. But just make sure that you do have that first tier set up and ready. And number 6, last but not least, there's a new unit formula in Barbarian Invasion that is different to the version in Rome Total War. Rome Total War has a rock, paper, scissors style of battle. Spearmen beat cavalry, cavalry beat swordsmen, swordsmen beat archers. No, if we're getting the melee, swordsmen beat spears, it goes like that. And then you've got some other ones in there, like archers can beat infantry, unless they get actually caught in melee. It's a rock, paper, scissors sort of stuff. But Barbarian Invasion is slightly different. Yes, it's still there, cavalry beat swords and all that stuff, spears beat cavalry, but there's another layer added into it. Some units are made to be defensive, some units are made to be aggressive. Limitani are very valuable in your army. They're the basic town watch style of unit. Why? Because they've got a very high defense and a lot of morale. These units can fight for ages on the battlefield and can really pin down a large section of the enemy's army. And that's how you use them. You get your Limitani in combat, and then the enemy's distracted fighting your Limitani, and they're done with fighting them for a while, because the Limitani, they've got high defense. They're probably not going to get any kills, maybe 1 or 2 kills across 120, but the important thing is they don't die or don't break for a long time. Then you bring your comitatenses, which have a very high attack. They charge in, get them on the flank, and they destroy them. So your comitatenses are your main heavy attacking unit, but they're not as good in defensive. They've got armour which protects them from missiles, but they're meant to be an attacking unit. So the style that you have is, it's like you've got your defensive units, your Limitani, your attacking units, your comitatenses, and then everything else as well. In Rome Total War, you didn't need to worry about what units are armour piercing. Well, you did a little bit, but not as much as you had to think about in Barbarian Invasion. The units you're going up against and the units you use against them are very important as they provide a bigger boost. If you're fighting comitatenses or anything with heavy armour, then you use the crossbow units, for example. The Bucellari, I believe they're called. But if you're fighting the Limitani or the Spearmen, the Fodatavi, then you use the archers. All of this is in Rome Total War in a way, but it's much more present in Barbarian Invasion, and you can use it to great efficiency and great value in Barbarian Invasion, if you know what you're doing. Anyway, that's my 6 things about Barbarian Invasion Total War that I wish I knew earlier. As I said, you may know all of these, and that's good for you. This video never at any point promised that you won't. This is just some things that I wish I knew sooner. Some of you may have learnt something, and that's good to know too. Many people out there are very new to the game, and many people like me, they've been playing this for about 6 years and they've only just figured out this stuff. Some of this stuff took me probably about 7 years to figure out from when I first started playing. So yeah, that's just normal too, that's just how it is. We all take a while at times to figure out some of the really small details like this. Hope you've enjoyed the 6 things here. Next week I believe is Medieval 2 Total War. I got 7 interesting ones there. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this series. I've been MELKOR. Please do like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this or any of my other videos. And good. Bye.